I am Louis Paul. Welcome to another Colors of Prog. Unbelievably, it's season 3, episode 2. I review progressive rock recordings, bands, past and present, and hope you've been enjoying the show. I've been off the air for about a month because, deciding what to review, what to cover. Um, there's a lot of great music out there, a lot of great new music out there. There's a lot of great old music rediscovering something I myself may not have paid a lot of attention to in the past, and then revisiting something or revisiting something that didn't grab me. And there's also some new music that's not terrific, but we'll get to that. So today, I'm going to discuss the some of the post Yes Band albums from Peter Banks and Tony Kaye. So it's no secret that after the second Yes album, 1970s Time and the Word, that Peter Banks, their guitarist, was fired and replaced by the musically similar sounding, but much more trebly, Steve Howe. Keyboard player Tony Kaye was there from the beginning and managed to hang on through 1971's The Yes album, but was gone before they recorded Fragile, and everybody knows everything else. Peter Banks formed the band Flash in 1971 along with Tony Kaye, who oddly is credited as a session man rather than as a full band member. I'm sure there's a story there. Percussionist lead singer Colin Carter, bass player Ray Bennett, and Mike Howe on percussion. Now, Flash released their self-titled debut in 1972 on Sovereign Records. Had a cheeky cover, literally, showing the rear and panties of a lady. Probably helped sell the record, actually. And musically, it was an extension of the work Banks and Kaye had done with Yes. So it's actually quite a good album. If a lot of Yes fans from those first 3 albums are not aware of it, you should revisit it if you have it, or you should try to track it down. There's only 5 tracks, but 2 are long. One at nearly 10 minutes and another at 13 minutes. So that's the Flash first album. By the time of the follow-up, called In the Can, also released by Sovereign Records, Tony Kaye was gone, but there were just, again, 5 tracks, and 3 of them breached the 10-minute mark. It was, again, more like a Yes album, but with a different singer. Now, that one was kind of notorious. It had a female bare breast on the cover, similar to the Lone album from Blind Faith. Again, it surely helped with the record sales. Out of Our Heads, released in 73, was well named because nearly all the 9 tracks are much shorter, and the whole album clocks in at 30 minutes. I think Sovereign, the major label subsidiary, wanted more shorter, radio ready, and radio friendly songs. Now, we're going to get to the live album. Now, Flash definitely toured a lot to support those 3 albums, especially in the US, but there's no good representation of those shows. And they were usually a warm-up act. In late 2022, the oddly named Think Like a Key Music to label released a 3 CD set titled Flash in the USA. And it featured the band crisscrossing the US. Well, I like Flash, possibly in the hands of a label like Cherry Red or Esoteric. Someone could have come up with something from these tapes. What we have here, unfortunately, are badly equalized multi-generational recordings dating from the time of these shows, 72 to 73. It would be charitably kind of me to say that at the very least, these are listenable, but really comes close to being not. Um, Having grown up in the 1970s and the advent of the cassette tape and vinyl bootlegs, I've heard a lot. And these shows just sound not great. Um, Even a taped off air show from WLIR in Long Island was telecast. Someone must have taped it off onto an audio cassette. And then it's been transferred from the ages old cassette, probably TDK. Everyone remember those TDK cassettes from the years of audio cassettes? And as much as I like this band, it was a chore sitting through this. But at least Flash was a good underrated band. So those first three albums tried to track them down. Badger, the band Tony Kaye left Flash to form, uh, fared little better. They were an opener for Yes at the Rainbow Theater in December of 1972. Their debut, One Live Badger, was a live album produced by John Anderson. It's a little cheeky in my book. Um, 6 songs for the set, ending at the 40-minute mark. And unlike Flash, as I was saying, so unlike Flash, which was a very yes-sounding band, uh, this band, Badger, they had a different sound and approach, almost sounding like a British version of Little Feat, down to the mention of whiskey and religion. Sometimes I didn't think the UK audiences were probably not sure what they were getting when they were opening for bands with their set. And One Live Badger, it was not a strong debut. The songs, it felt like they were just working on these songs. And they went out on the road, supported Yes on some dates. This comes from the Rainbow Theater where they opened for Yes in 1972. And White Lady, released in 1974, was their one and only studio album. British white soul singer Jackie Lomax came in and wrote songs and essentially used Badger as his backing band. But despite of a lot of assistance in the studio, including Jeff Beck on guitar and Alain Toussaint as producer, this album tanked big time. And Badger broke up with Tony Kaye picking up his keyboards and leaving. Now, that's not the last of the musical history of Peter Banks and Tony Kaye, far from it. But it's an interesting look at what both of them did in their first post-Yes years. So Badger is the band that could have been, but they took on a decidedly odd, almost country sound, which a few years later was in vogue. At this time, it was still too early. And Flash came out hitting strong, well-produced records. But until now, there's no good live recording that I'm aware of out there. And this isn't it. This 3 CD set is really for the hardcore fans. If you take the time to and you have a really good audio system, you could probably sit down and try to do something to make it listenable, or maybe make your own CDs and do EQ with this. Unfortunately, this is not a great sounding live album, but these are 2 live recordings from Badger and Flash, featuring Peter Banks and Tony Kaye on this band. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon.